Hi everyone, welcome back to class 3 of Free Revit Week of Revit Apprentice. Today we're going to talk a little bit about families, okay? And that's super important in Revit, okay? So what are families, families are these objects that we have inside of our model. So for example, doors, that's like one type of family, okay? And then inside of doors we have different types of family, okay? So for example, we have this single flush type of door, we have this double glass type of door, we have this sliding door type of door, so each one of these is one type of family, okay? Revit already comes with preloaded families from Autodesk, but you can also go into websites and you can download it yourself. You can create families, and creating families is something that is going to be covered in the full course. And also, for example, walls, they're different. All of these are like a different type of family, so these are all families. And inside of these families, we can set some parameters. Like we saw it on class 2, that we created a new family with the double layer door, double layer wall type. Okay? So for example, windows, it's another type of family. I'm just gonna place here some windows. So you see, this is one type of family, this is another one, and another one. Okay, so these are all families, all right? And you can change the parameters. You can change the sizes. You can change the type, and you can change all of that, okay? So I'm placing some windows. You see how easy it is. It immediately crops and then placed inside a wall. Here I'm gonna show you a trick. If you click here to rotate this window to the outside, you can either click here on this arrows, or you can press the space bar on your keyboard, and it will do the same. Okay, same for doors. For example, you can use these arrows here to rotate, to move them around, or you can press the space bar on your keyboard and it will rotate until you find the position that you want. Okay, so last class we saw how to change some parameters here for the wall, and then we saw how to edit type, correct, and we added the structure. This is back to the 6-inch wall. So today we're gonna see the same but for doors and windows, because it's slightly different, and I just want to show you what you can do. So you can see here on the properties window that it's a little bit different because it's specific for doors, right? But I can select here the level. So here I only have one level, so it's on the first floor. But if I have multiple levels, I can just switch here, and it will go to the same position but on the different floor. Remember that you can only have doors or windows if you have a wall. So you cannot place a door by itself. You need a wall to host it. Okay, so you need a wall on that level, and then you can change the sill height here. So usually doors have a sill height of 0, right, for obvious reasons. But if for some reason you want to create like a 4-inch step, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like if I come here to view and I come here to 3D. It just changed that. This is the 4-inch. Okay, this is the 4-inch, and I can also come here on 3D and I can change this to 0, and it's gonna move down, as you can see. Okay, so we're gonna have to change the sill heights for these windows, but we will get there. Okay. So continue on the wall, continue on the door. Let's go here into the properties. We can see here that we can change the frame type. There's not frame types loaded on this project yet, but if there are families loaded, you will be able to change the frame, okay? You can change the frame material. It's not allowing to go here and finish, but it's gonna be here on edit type, okay? But I'll go back to it. So, and last thing what I want to show you is again the phasing, as we mentioned, to the walls. It's really important because this come back a lot on documentation. So if this, for example, is an existing wall or is an existing door, you can just mark as existing, and it's going to change the color, and it will change as well on your floor plan. It's going to be great, and you can see that it's existing. And if you demo, you can just say here demo new construction, and it will show dash, and you can mark that the phasing, which is super important. And phasing created, new construction. Phase demolish, sorry, as none, no demolish, and phase created is new construction. Okay, and you can also change the head height here. Okay, head height, you can say that this is going to be 8 feet. Sorry, 8 feet, and you're not going to see any change here. But if you go to a 3D, it moved. So you see how it did not became 1 foot taller. It just moved a foot from the floor. So that's not really what I want. So this I just accidentally pressed on the family, and I hear some options to change the door itself. I'm just gonna close this. I'm not gonna save it. I'm just gonna go back to my project. And do you see here that that's how it's like 1 foot higher, 1 foot, because I changed here the sill height. When I change here to head height, it just automatically changed that. So you see how these parameters are all connected, right? And you see how these properties change based on the object that I'm clicking, right? So here there are some properties that you can change, but you also come here, edit type, and there are some other options that you can do here, okay? So again, you can duplicate this type and you can create a new one. For example, if you want to create a new door type so you see here, that's the family, this is the family single flush, and this is the type, that's this size, okay? And then here, you're able to change the materials, you can change the door panels, and you click here, and it's gonna open up the materials window. And the materials, it's a whole lesson in itself, okay? I just want to show you, but basically you select a material here, you change the graphics and their appearance here, which you're gonna have a class just for materials, and then you hit OK, and then you apply that material to that door and to that frame as well. So that's how you change. Typically it's you click here on edit type and on the type properties window. Okay, and then here you can change some of the dimensions. Here you can. For example, if you want, let's say we want to duplicate this type of door, okay, and we want to create a 90-inch tall door by a 40-inch wide. So we want to create a 40 by 90, okay? So we just rename it. So that's a new type, okay? So we have the old one there. We create a new type 40 by 90, and then we come here and we change these parameters here, right? So height, if it's 90 inches, it's gonna be 7 feet 6 if I'm not mistaken, and the width it's gonna be 3 feet 4 inches, and that's gonna be 40, and you're gonna hit OK, and you see how that door became larger, right? It changed the size. I can change here the thickness to 2.5. I'm not gonna see anything on this view, but it will change here. This door here, it became 2.5 inches, okay? So that's how you change. You can come here to this other type of family, which is a double glass, and you can see here on the properties that they are the same options, phasing, the head height, and the level. They're all here, and you can come here and you can edit type, and then you see that you have here slightly different options. These options here depends on each family. Typically for doors, they're gonna have the dimensions that you might want to change. So all of this, it's custom. You can create your own, and you can set up the parameter. And it's going to be connected to your model. So you don't need to redraw. You just need to enter that new information, okay? And apply the materials. So basically in Revit, everything happens that way. You place it, your object inside your model. You make sure it's on the right level that you draw on the first floor, on the second floor, the basement, you make sure it's right, and you change the properties of that object here, okay, here on these properties and on edit type, and you duplicate and you create new ones as you go. So basically this is the process that you will repeat, basically just like that, rinse and repeat, okay. Right now I want to show you a little bit of windows, same kind of thing. Here you can change the sill height, same thing, you can change to, let's say 2 feet, 2.6, 2 feet 6 inches here. No changes in plan, but it did change here, it changed there. You can also select all these different windows with the control button pressed on your computer, and then you can change the height, all of them at the same time. And you see here how you change all of them at the same time, okay? So you see here all of these options. This depends on the family, and it really depends on the family. And facing, it's always there. And if you come here to edit type, here there are a little bit more material options that you can select to your window. They're here. You can play with that, and material finishes, they're here, and the dimensions. So what's important for you to learn is this process that going to the properties button and going to the type property windows, and then here you can change the sizes, the materials, and everything that you need. Okay, this is the workflow. This is what I want you to learn. Everything else will become easier after this, okay? And you can always duplicate and rename your families, okay? Last thing I want to show you on this class, because it's still on the families, is how to create floors, okay? I want to create a floor for you, and I'm going to show you how easy it is, okay? So I just came here, architecture, floor, okay? And it immediately changed. It changed to, it gave me this window that was not here before, okay? And you see here I have some drawing tools, right? Which you can imagine that I'm going to use this to draw my floor, okay? I need to make sure that I'm drawing on the correct level, okay? On this case, I'm drawing on the first floor, all right? And I need to make sure I'm drawing on the correct level. And then I come here on properties, and I need to make sure that I'm using the right family, okay? These are the families that are optional here, okay? So I can use a generic 12, or I can use a concrete slab. I can use this preloaded families, or I can always load new families, okay? For this example, I'm just going to use a generic 12, okay? And I'm going to use this drawing tool here, all right? So I will click here, and basically I will just draw the perimeter of my floor area, okay? Just the interior perimeter, and I'll just follow the perimeter. I need to close the loop, okay? I need to close the loop. I cannot have lines going in different directions, okay? And I simply press hit OK, okay? When I hit OK, it creates the surface here, okay? You see here now that I have this object. If I press tab on my keyboard, I rotate into the objects that I can select. So basically, I'm able to select here my floor by clicking tab, okay? And again, I have here my properties, okay? So I can select the level, right? So for example, I'm here. I'll show you this on the 3D. So you see here that I have my slab now, right? That it's 12 inch, And so if I select my slab, and if I come here, I'm just going to show you to it. So if I select second level, it brings my floor to the second level. Okay. If I select first floor, it just brings it to the first floor. Okay. So this is what happens. I can select a height offset from the ground. So let's say if I want this to be at a foot, I will just click that and it's going to move up a foot. Okay. I'm going to select 0 to go back, and see here that it gives me the perimeter of this area that is selected, the area, and the volume, you know, so it gives me all the information about the surface there. And that's important for construction, because you already know, and we're going to talk about that later. And face created again and face demolished, you can say that this is going to be demo and it's going to be dash. Okay, so I just want to show you that, so that it's set on you, so you know. And again, we can also come here and edit type, and we can change the structure. For example, here we have a default thickness of a foot, so we can duplicate this type, and let's say we want to create a generic 14, and we create OK, and I rename it and create a new type 14, and I can come here on structure and click edit, and instead of 12 I can say it's 1 foot 2, and I just hit OK, and it became 1.2 or 1 foot 2 inches, and it became 14 inches thick. Okay, and I can also add layers similar to what we did to the walls, you know, and then just move up and establish thickness to it, and apply materials to it. So let's say if I have here 1 inch and then 1 inch, because it's going to be, and apply a material, so, and that's going to be shown in a section if you need it. So that's I'm just going to continue without saving. Okay, so what I want you to take from this class is that what are the families, you know, because the family is one of the building blocks of a Revit model, you know, and I want you to understand where do you go to change them. You always go here and change properties, and you edit type, and you can just like duplicate and create new types and apply new materials and create new finishes. And I will tell you this, sometimes if you don't have a family that's exactly what you need, sometimes it's easier to just look on the internet for a new family, because sometimes it's just too hard to change, and you don't want to mess around too much with the family, you know, you just want to change the parameters and have adjusted itself. So there are a lot of resources on the internet, and I'm gonna give it to you, my favorite websites that I use to download families. And you can always look for in the manufacturers' websites. A lot of companies are creating the families now. So, and it's something that you always work with, okay? And this is what I wanted to take away from this class. You can see here that I'm going very slow and explain to you step by step, because I'm being very methodical with the process, because I want you to learn this. So I hope you're enjoying this. Okay, this was today's lessons on family, and I'll wait for you on the fourth class. See you there.